Welcome to Motivation Monday, a gentle reset for your week and a space to set an intention that can carry you forward. Each Monday here in the I Am Circle membership, I'll be sharing simple mental health tools, practical life hacks, and meaningful inspiration you can actually use in your everyday life. I'll also weave in real-life stories to help you see how these ideas can show up in ways that feel doable and supportive. This series will be shared as an audio recording so you can listen wherever you are, whether that's on a walk, in your car, while making coffee, or during a quiet moment for yourself without needing to sit and watch a screen. You'll hear personal reflections from my own life, insights from my private practice, and wisdom drawn from my Reiki and healing work. Some Mondays may include an oracle or tarot card pull, while other weeks I might read a passage from a book I love and share why it resonates, or how you can apply it to your own journey. Or maybe a story like today of something that I'm going through and I want to share with you. My hope is that Motivation Monday becomes a grounding and uplifting part of your I Am Circle membership experience. If there's a topic you'd love for me to explore, please share it in the community chat or send me a direct message. I truly want this membership to feel interactive, a space where we support one another, exchange ideas, and grow together. With that, let's begin. Welcome back to Motivation Monday. So today's episode is centered around a quote I absolutely love and one that feels especially relevant right now as we are in the first few days of February. The quote is, "Water breaks rock, not because of its strength, but because of its consistency. Be like water and don't give up." So this is a really good time of year to check in with ourselves. January often arrives with motivation, fresh energy, big intentions. We're setting resolutions, we're making plans, and we promise ourselves that this is the year. This is the year that things will be different. And then February comes. The novelty tends to wear off and life gets busy again, and those old habits start whispering. And many people quietly begin to drift back into familiar patterns. So, if that is you, I want you to hear this very clearly today. There is nothing wrong with you. In fact, what you're experiencing is incredibly normal. When we start to change an old habit or pattern, especially one that has been with us for a long time, we have to understand how the brain will push back. The brain loves efficiency and familiarity. Okay, so just remember that. Anytime you're getting ready to shift and change something, it loves efficiency and familiarity. Even unhealthy patterns now can feel safe to the brain simply because they're known. So when you begin doing something new, if you're moving your body, you want to change how you eat, you're prioritizing rest, maybe you're practicing a new healing modality, you want to try to meditate every morning or journal at night, your nervous system may interpret that change as a threat and try to pull you back to the old way. And this is why consistency matters more than intensity. And that's where the water comes in. Water doesn't force its way through a rock in one dramatic moment, in one drop. It doesn't rush, it never gets frustrated, it just simply shows up again and again. And over time, that rock changes. This is also how habits actually change, and this is how healing happens for us. This is how our identity starts to shift into becoming that new person. So I wanted to share a personal example. Since January 1st, I've had the intention to just move my body more consistently. And I should say to move my body every day. Not that I don't move it every day, but I wanted to have more consistent time, say walking on a treadmill, the recommendation of like a straight 30 minutes of activity aside from just, walking up and down my steps or, getting up from my office and walking into the kitchen. Winter can be very hard. There isn't a lot of places to walk where I live, especially when we have these huge snowbanks right now. So I went and bought a treadmill and bought some workout stuff to do some more strength training for my body as well. And so this was my intention: move my body more consistently every day. And usually I love to work out, if I can, for about 45 minutes to an hour. But the reality is some days I just don't have the time or the energy. But instead of giving up entirely, like maybe I would have used to have done in the wintertime and said, I'll just wait until the weather gets better. It's only a couple more months. I know I'm going to go outside and be way more active. I'll just take this time to, not do anything. So that's the old me. So instead of giving up, I just made a different agreement with myself this year. I said, even if I can't do an hour or the 45 minutes, I'm just still going to get on the treadmill, even if it's just for 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I'm still trying to figure out where I put this whole time thing on my brain. I think it has to do with the fact that I used to be an athlete in high school and college. So whenever you would go to practice, you were practicing at least sometimes 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours, but an hour just always seems like, okay, there's enough energy being exerted. So I'm really trying to work on changing my mindset around that. So those 5 minutes, when on those days where I'm really tired or I don't have the energy, or I'm recording a Motivation Monday first thing in the morning like I'm doing right now, and it's almost 8 o'clock and I'm thinking, okay, where am I going to get my walk in before I start doing therapy sessions at 10? I just have to remind myself that it's all about consistency. So those minutes, those 5 minutes or the 15 minutes that seem under my goal, those minutes are about consistency. They're about showing my brain, this is who I am now. I show up. It's not about the checklist. I had this conversation with a client a couple of weeks ago. She's working on the same thing that I'm working on. And it's really just about a lifestyle change. It's not something to check off on our list. Like, okay, I got my exercise done. No, this is who I am now. I show up and I do movement for my body. And in the wintertime, it will be on this treadmill, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, 45 minutes. So here's the interesting part though. More often than not, once I start and I say to my brain, it's just going to be 5 minutes, that's all I have, I end up usually continuing to go. I just keep going. But even when I don't, I still count it as a win because I showed up. Because consistency isn't about duration, it's about repetition. So I want to offer you 2 simple practical tips today to help you stay consistent with your goals, especially if you're feeling discouraged or off track. Tip number 1, make it almost too easy. Lower the bar, shrink the goal, remove the pressure, and make the brain feel like it will take less than 10% effort to do. If your goal is meditation, make it for 1 minute. If your goal is movement, make it for 5 minutes. If your goal is to practice Reiki or some healing modality, just place your hands on your body for 1 breath. The brain is much more willing to say yes to something small. And once you say yes, momentum will start to build. So maybe that meditation will go for 1.5 minutes, or maybe 2 minutes. Or maybe like me, I'm going to get on that treadmill today for 5 minutes and hopefully I can get 25 minutes in. So the brain, again, is much more willing to say yes to something small. So just remember that tip. Tip number 2, focus on identity, not outcome. So instead of asking, did I do enough? Did I show up? Did I do enough today? Was it long enough? Did I do a good enough job? Instead of asking those, did I do enough? I want you to ask, did I show up as the person I want to become? And every time you take a small action, you're casting a vote for your future self, and those votes will add up. And this is where I want to bring it back to the I am. Because consistency isn't just something you do, it's something you become. Let me just say that one more time. Consistency isn't just something that you do, it is something you become. So instead of I am bad at sticking with things, I am inconsistent. I always fall off in February. I'd like you to try anchoring into these truths instead. I am consistent even in small ways. I am showing up again and again. Here's a good one. I am patient with the process of change. I am becoming who I practice being. I am like water, steady, persistent, and resilient. And if you've fallen off your New Year's intentions already, let today be a reset. Not a restart, just a return. Remember, water doesn't start over when it meets resistance. It adapts. It continues. It continues to flow. It moves around. And so can you. So here's the moral of today's Motivation Monday. You don't need to push harder. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep showing up gently, consistently, and without giving up, and just a little bit at a time. Remember, 5 minutes counts. 1 breath counts, and showing up counts. Before we close, I'd like you to take a moment and repeat this in your mind with me. You can say it out loud or just think it, but I'd like you to repeat after me. I am consistent. I am patient with my growth. I am showing up even when it's hard. I am changing through steady, loving repetition. I am like water. Thank you so much for being here and for being part of this I Am Circle. And I will see you and be in your earbuds or your car, your headphones, next Monday. Take care, everyone. Keep shining. Remember, the world needs your beautiful light.